be kacha kam fanna men wala nyinde defan kunni we kacha men soro inin NIA la nyaton kol men beje
about how you wanted to run the organization during your tenure as Director General.
Nyin kamala ite lafta maralo mi sifa men kela je ila wato men kono beje wato men beje nyaton kayala.
And some of the things that were happening in the agency which you wanted to stop.
Andun ko do la men yalon ko be keri nun je ka keje andu lafta wolle woli kana ke kotanke.
So now let's take it from there.
Silangata kaboto.
But in spite of what you told your colleagues, your agents at the NIA, unlawful arrests and detentions continued at the NIA, you would agree?
No nyanya Mr. Baaji said nyanya yen kuma kaunta ni nyila moli nyin kacha NIA je bari nyanya kamol muda me an ko ani luwa manta abbe fana ibe mol tajire yala je wotenten taje fo
tajiriya.
Yes. Brutality. In fact, we have compiled a list of documented illegal detentions at the NIA.
Andung nyanya fanga kaito do kafunyo majang me alon ko ba ko le me alon ko kereje me alon ko inisilo manta NIA je.
And in your 1-year tenure
itela sanje kilon kono nyaton ka ko toje
at the NIA
je do
a minimum of 50 people were detained unlawfully.
Menta fa mo talulu wala tata je yemen mutaje men luwa manta.
Do you agree?
Isonda wala la bang?
I'm not aware.
Can you tell us what procedures existed at the NIA in order to monitor the detentions of the people who were brought there?
Silang sedo fo isa fo no NIA jeto ika sila jumal noma nyin kamala ko mol me ke narije ke la ko nyin ke noma sata ika sila jumal ta
mbenna dalilo dila mi yar nan ko makalamta.
I'll give you a reason why I said I wasn't aware.
Answer my question first. We would later come to your reasons. What procedures were in place to monitor detentions during your tenure?
Anyone that comes there, we write down your name.
And
if you were to go anywhere or if anything is to happen to you, there is someone there who is responsible. And if you are leaving the place too, we write it down. And there are people too who are responsible for that as well.
And that book would be a detention register, correct?
Obuko nying amunta bukule me alon ko ka fa detention register wala mol men katara moro kono je kamenu narije la tul ka safe men kono.
Ha. Yes.
And have you ever monitored whether all the detentions that occurred during your time were lawful detentions?
Fo ite harje yesilo e harje wonyin talaban ka ko nyin ka no masada ka long mol men be yalon ko ye narije ite la wato kono je wato be nyaton kala je men be narije ye mutaje fo ila ni luwata talaban wala muto ban.
Hani?
No.
So
but I have reasons.
Yes, what are your reasons?
Under my stewardship,
operational side.
Anything happening on the side of operations, I handed that over to my deputy, who was Momodo Haidara. Because he was someone who had been there for a long time. And he knows the place. And he knows the people there. I can say that he knows most people there. Because he has worked with them for many years. And I had to believe that
O atele se keno moti mi yalon ko asen operation o nyin handle.
He would be the person to be able to handle operations.
Katun konte mi munyaton koti.
Because me, despite being the head,
be ngadula soto be responsible ni minna mi wolon administration o nyinte.
the place that I am responsible for is administration.
Wati do katara jele.
Sometimes I'm there.
Wati do mantaraje.
At other times I am not there.
Oto sai ninko doku eta nyama.
Therefore, if we say that the work should proceed,
wajibu wala nga doku otala nyotem.
it is only right that we distribute the responsibilities.
Ba atele bente noma.
Since he was deputizing,
Ngaji ko afana responsibility le soto.
I believe that he too has responsibility.
What responsibility wolo nyinti ko I tra operational side.
And that responsibility is that he be on the side of operations.
Atele be mol doku di la mol la milialon ko. He
would assign the responsibilities to the various people who will carry them out.
And I agree with you that delegation of responsibility is very important. But delegation of responsibility does not absolve the delegator of that responsibility, of his own responsibility. Do you agree?
I agree.
And do you agree that as the head of the institution, in fact you are a soldier, you know the doctrine of command responsibility, don't you?
Ko etela munyaton ko ti dingira nyindo je wato andung hanu nyaaw nya fa muso ja rolti yalo ne ko nyaton ka do ko la talambulo e katama nyame yalo.
Yes.
And you knew that as the commander or as the superior, you are responsible for the unlawful conduct of your men in the official execution of their duties.
No yenyi lon ko tumalame na ede mari ite mnyaron ko to dingira nyindo woto ita ila nyimu kan dunol di kaje ko ila do kulal menu yalon ko be ko to jeto barol dol be kamenke yalon ko ni loi mantai pour waydang fo
yes.
And you know that it is your responsibility as their superior to prevent violations where you know they are about to be committed.
Andung nyimui kamfan dunole fanande ko ni kuo kuyaja ka abina kila jeme alon ko nyanta tinyala mbata tinyar kulem ila nyimui kan dunole pour bantambilo ko nyara kanake.
Yes. You also know that your failure to punish or bring to book your subordinates who commit violations would lead to responsibility on your part.
For that violation, correct?
Yes. And as such, whether you delegated responsibility to Haidara or not, ultimately, you are responsible for the violations of the rights of the 50 Gambians who were detained unlawfully.
No.
Why do you say that?
Because Haidara was appointed the same way as I was appointed. He was appointed to assist me. So therefore, if I am occupied in other areas, he too should also be doing some other, performing his duties at other areas. If I want to perform my administration duties, and also to take charge of operations, that will bring a failure to the institution. And I will not do that. Because that is not right. That was why I was appointed. And he was appointed.
The director of operation appointed.
And the director of operations was appointed, and other directors as well. So that they too will carry out their responsibilities and together will assist each other to move the work forward.
So your view is that because he is also appointed, you are not responsible as his superior for his misconduct in the line of duty.
Amunde itela kunna miro mendo wala nyindi go tumala mena ya ta fanantala ko yeta nyame woto woda lilo kan atela do ko me alon ka ya ke menni luwa manda ka molla nyantol tinya o manke kan dunoti te memu nyaton ko tije
ani mo fol.
I didn't say that.
What are you saying?
Say kamone fo
ngami fo wolo nyiti ko.
What I said is that
Ni doku detail.
when he is giving his assignments,
Wajibu olong ayala doku ka nyanta kala nyam.
it is proper that he does his job in the
Nimbo ta
proper
kala
way.
mta ko amala doku ka nyam.
murun kan ila kuma kan
Nko wajibu olong ala doku ayaka nyam.
It is incumbent upon him to do his work as expected.
Nimbo ta kala mta ko ala doku e min doku anyanta minkel amaka nyam.
If I become aware that he has failed to do his duties as
O mun
expected,
fanana wajibu olti ngana lodula ta nyanta mintal.
it will be incumbent upon me to take a stance on that issue.
That is precisely my point.
wala mfana kumoti
You knew that these violations were happening at the NIA when you started there.
yala na ko nyin nyanda tinyal membe kere mare nyin tinyarol membe kere nje jannite be je kumasle yala na wolbe kering NIA je
You knew that.
yolonne
Ngamin kala mutaje wolong
What I was aware was that
wolo nyinti ko nga kala mta ko mul
I was aware
ye
that
mo bute nyala je.
someone was beaten in my presence there.
Ngo kala mutaje.
I'm aware of that.
But that aside, you knew that the NIA was a place where people were being tortured.
bar hanu ko la fana yalo ne ko NIA mu dingiral de me yalon ko ika mol samba jele ke bute mbate ke tajire ya
Nga mwele
I heard it.
But let us not make things difficult.
kana
This
ko
is
ko
a
le
fact
ni mulam tonyati
that you knew.
ko yalon ne
That is why you said
wala ya sabi ko
you summoned a meeting of the leaders and told them you wanted that culture to stop.
ko wala ya sa ya fo ifa wala kuma kan kono ko wala ya sa biriye ta nyaton kayela je ye nyaton ko kuma de men be NIA je ko iye kacande nyina ko bara sifal men be kering NIA je ay dang
ha ngo
Yes,
fole.
I said
Adu
that.
nga fo ni dalil wal kan ko.
I
Ye
said
mole
that.
bute nyala aman diyan.
I said that with a reason, because someone was beaten in my presence, which I did not like.
Adu man la fi ay soto.
And I don't want it to happen.
We agree with that.
msanta wala le
Yo adu flanja fana.
And secondly,
Ka detention o min fo.
the detention that has been talked about,
Nga kala muta ko modol soton tanu miliyalon ko ke mutanu nje.
I was aware that there were some people who were being detained there.
Melong in mejele me kala meje nyala.
I don't know them, and I have not seen them with
Ko
my eyes.
kibaron kami soto ko ini mol ka duñu wala official ni mol ka duñu wala ye samananje.
But this is information that I got that officials would have problems with private individuals, and then they will bring them in.
Let us not go back.
kana
Ye
muru ko
yamar.
Yes.
I
But
advised them.
we noted what you said. You
No.
you stopped all you claim you informed them that all this misconduct must stop. All these illegal activities must stop.
ye im kala mudane nyina ko wo ku bara sifal men bebe kere men ni silo man taw be nyana bulala la ka katariyarinke
The
Yes.
inquiry now
ani nyinin karo men sai
is what have you done to ensure that it has stopped?
ite mun kata kullel fere kaje ko bara sifal nyi ay dang
Nse baro nga baro min kije wolo nyiti ko.
What I did is,
Mi mun tol na staff olti.
those that were our staff,
Wati bela doku ke kam.
each time they are performing their duties,
Nke hakilo bulandi ko ibe doku min ne salon ko ibe konti bolal.
I used to remind them that the work that they do, they would be accounted for.
Adu ika doku min fananke salon ko ika ke nyom badingol le.
And the work that they do, they should also know that they are doing that to their own relatives.
In essence, you constantly remind them of their responsibilities.
mun tan nyin kamala ko wato wati ke hakilo bulandi le memu ila do ko ti nyana kamenke
Yes.
Have you ever examined the detention register to see whether people were being unlawfully detained or not?
fo inana ka nyim buko nyinga men detention register nyi ka mol to safeda me men narje pour etara maroko no inana ka yelele yakono jube banka lo mol nanga mo me ye nade jang pour ke sindi jeba
Nene ma woke.
I never did that.
Okay. Now I am telling you,
silamba fole
just
ko
a moment. Now I am telling you, we would come to that. Now I am telling you that upon examination of the detention register by us, we have discovered that at least 50 people have been unlawfully detained during your time as Director General. How do you react to that?
It will surprise me.
But it would not have surprised you if you had looked at the book.
I never opened that book to look at it, but I had a report that came to me on a daily basis.
So, after ni mo tata mora at I was stage min tambito wala otabikala ni jakaloleti.
And I told them that I give them a specific time which no one should be detained above. And if there was anyone that was detained beyond that time I gave them, that would surprise me.
Well, I can, just a moment. I can give you the book to see for yourself. So you can see those who've been unlawfully detained.
I do not dispute that. That what is in the book is not there. I do not dispute that. But what I want to clarify here is that the one that writes on that book is under someone.
But that is neither here nor there. The important thing here, Mr. Baaji, is that during your time, people continued to be unlawfully detained at the NIA.
I'm not aware.
Well, the thing is, this book would have easily told you that people were still being unlawfully detained. You did not look at it.
Mambuko nyinta barenga reporto soto lenko le fote mbuka buko nyinta mbukata mambuko nyinfenke because wamu dola dokuoti.
I didn't take the book because that was the work of other people, but I got reports on a daily basis. There were people responsible for that sector.
So ni momo overstate aje.
If anyone overstayed,
hari manta through the book nyanta kala mutala.
Even if I did not go through the
because
book,
minka safe buko to ani akata janabe futalantema wo mo jamale ben nitem.
I should have been aware because the one who writes in the book.
Na tara commissaire fe mo be bala doko kala mo yala doko ka anyam.
If I told people we are doing their work as expected, or if we all decided to do our work as expected, if any detainee stayed for a long time, I should have been aware.
Proceed.
Anyone that stays there for a long time, then I should have been informed.
Mr. Baaji,
but if at all that happened,
I agree with you. You should have known. You should have known. But you did not make the effort to know. If you had done the effort to know, it's quite easy and very obvious. Because the book is here.
What I want to put to you, this book that you have is a past book. Today, if you want any record, they can bring it. But every day I was there, there's an activity. The same way they have their responsibilities, recording. I also have my responsibilities the same way. That's why, if I want to take that responsibility, going there every day.
Did you understand your responsibilities as Director General?
Fo kake korda tiyo no manda kake nyaton koti NIAJ fo yela do ko ni yalon ne bang ya fahamle mamu la do ko
Yes. What was your work?
Mamu la do ko di
na do ko folo ka do ko dulani ka samba.
First off is to take to manage the institution.
Let me make it a whole lot easier. Did you realize that you had administrative responsibility of the institution?
Yes.
Did you realize that you had supervisory responsibility over the work of the agents and elements of the NIA?
Yes.
Do you realize that you had responsibility to ensure that your staff did their work properly?
Answer
the question.
Who are responsible for that?
Answer the question. Do you know that you had responsibility to ensure that your staff did their work properly?
Fo ye ñi lonne ko ñi muy kan kunto dunol di ko ila do kulal menu be ti fan koto pour ila do ko ke ñala melni silo tata
Yes. And that if you fail
ni boyta
to do that, you would ultimately be responsible for the failures of your staff.
Woto ñimme kele kan lon kunto dunol ti ila do kulal la boyo ñi boyo menke o duno ñi binatile itele kan.
You know that?
Fo ye olon
ani
no, but you told me that you are a soldier.
Ari ñi fo ñal ko ita muy sojar wolti
You know the law of superior responsibility and command responsibility.
Ye luwa lon ne men be maralin do kula do ku ñaton ko na la do kula tema silol men katama itema.
Yes. And you know that for your men, you are responsible for their illegal conduct if you are aware that they're going to do it and did not stop it, or they did it and you did not punish.
And ye fanam fole ko eti ya yin fanam go ya lon ne ko ela do kula men be ko ni e ku ke me an ka ni silo manta ni muy ka lon ku to dunol ti pour ka bantambi do ko ñato ka je ko we bang we dang.
Sonto wala
I accept it. I said it.
And equally, you are head of the NIA and they were still illegally detaining people.
Andung hanin kabi o nyaaw nyaafana itele mu kordatio di NIA je ila do kula ñu mene an ko be ko to itententa ka o bara sifal ke kamol mutaje ke sindi je menni loi manta o tententa janu itele nyaaton koti.
Ko le foy mo le kalamuta.
That is what I am telling you. I wasn't aware.
I am telling you that you did not take the steps
Nkanyi men foy wala mi de man simfanyi neta.
to find out.
Ka koro ka nyin ka jube.
Nga simfal tale?
I took steps.
What steps did you take?
Ya mun simfa da nyaadi lelta.
Atu nga mole so mi yalo ko nga marandi wodi kiral.
Because there was someone that I gave that responsibility to.
Atu nga responsibility di minna fanang wo mo kilimo.
And that
dole fanang bo koto.
That person I gave that responsibility had someone who was assisting him.
So as far as you are concerned, once you have delegated the responsibility to somebody else, your responsibility is complete. It's finished.
No.
So what are you telling us? But you just told us you never checked the book.
But ye infonye sign them buko ni na majube.
Anyini kanga kenya dile.
Ask me how I did it.
Tell us.
Fonya.
Ninna to wati do.
Sometimes when I come,
Do kuala somanda.
early to work in the morning,
Wati don ka fintile ngata dulal jube.
sometimes I go around and check.
Adun ka jube ye mil mol min nanga mo todina fo wo mol lebi.
And I try to confirm whether the list that they gave me is this number of inmates that are actually inside.
And then?
Okola.
Ah, ka confirm len ko le fote.
I confirm, that's what I'm saying.
But the question is, do you check whether they are illegally detained?
Saying nyini karo mende wala nyindi ko fo ika jubele ka tonya yende fo nyi moldu ye sindija ne luanta yakamba.
Ika jubele ko kari nin kari le bejang.
Do you
Bari
confirm?
ma jube ko kari was unlawfully detained.
Ha.
You
mo
check
jube.
to confirm that the...
Atun ko na dalilo mo nyinete ko. Mo manya na tarlaje min tambita 72 hours.
I never did that because my reason was no one should be there for more than 72 hours.
But you would agree with me that unfortunately, you did not check whether they were there for more than 72 hours.
Bari ibe sonna manyin nala ko buko nyi ma jube ka tonya yandi ko. Futonya nyi molme ye sindija men tambita 72 hours la.
Yes, you did not check whether they were in fact detained there for more than 72 hours.
Ako ye ma jube ka tonya fo nyin tonya ye sindija ne men ka tambi montoro montoro taworo wala ning lulla. Fula. Sorry.
Nga jubele.
I looked at it.
Well, you could not huff and puff at the same time.
Anil.
You told us you did not look at it.
Ya fonye ko ma jube.
You told us that when you took your list, you only checked who was there.
Ye fonye ko ni te la kaito nyinda ya jube ka jube la jumale beje.
So you
Ngana kaito ta.
When I take my list,
Ye nyina tanina ko nyimo nangam lebe detained.
and it shows me that these are the number of people detained,
Ninnata.
when I come,
Buka mo consult.
I don't consult anyone.
Nte fon ka wuli.
I go there myself
Ta ka jube mo jumal lebija mo jel lebija.
to confirm which type of people are here,
Konference
how many
okay, no.
people are here.
Ka kala mutako. Tonya nyul ka mo nanga mo min fonye ko lebija wala biji.
I do that to confirm really
Amanke luwo luntinko okay?
that the list that I was given is the actual list.
Mr. Baaji, I accepted that you said that.
Nsonta wala ko yo fole.
The point here is,
Ko menti ja wala mnyinti.
you did not check whether those people on the list, whether they were unlawfully detained or not.
Ko menti wala mnyinti ko mol mento be kaito bala jama be ko na ima jube fo ila muto je fani luwa tarala man fani luwa manda.
Well until a jero to ntinga mutano kani luwa altata. Because ma mutako mo bi je min tamita 72 hours.
But just
By
answer.
my own observation, I took it that it was in line with the law because I did not believe that anyone was detained for more than 72 hours.
Well, if you made an assumption, clearly your assumption is wrong.
Ni fansun kunna miro di ba senera janko ila o miro kunna mira lo nyinga amanti tonya ya.
It's wrong.
Amantiling.
Anyway, ntinga record sol mi shoton.
Anyway, based on the records that I had,
E kami futa nintema.
those that were forwarded to me,
Look,
Wonen fenti je min nene atani na ko mota ta fa tambita was wo fonkola.
nothing is there or was there that showed me that there was anyone who was detained beyond that time.
Mr. Baaji, I haven't manufactured the documents.
Mr. Baaji nyin kaito nyin mamurun kandoku.
This
Sonta.
I accept.
This is your book.
Nymuila bukolti.
Sonta.
I accept.
Agency.
And it is your book
Ila bukola.
that shows the date of arrest
Me lungol tande lungo
And
menne
detention?
mutarol keda nenke sindi dula killing.
and the date of release.
Ande lungo mena fana ye mari nyol bula.
And you can easily tell
Andun so na ko na ise info
that
ko.
some people were detained for months
Modol beje tata maroko na jembe da fo kari.
without release
Ime bula.
or without being taken to court.
Andun go imay samba kiti yola fana.
And that is unlawful.
Andu wo mulu anta yalti.
You agree?
Isonta wamal.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
Bare lafta min tandi le fana.
Just, I will give you a chance.
Silo di la priye fan
Give
sene.
you a chance, but let's just answer the question.
Nyinin karo ngaw jabi fororo.
All right? So what I am trying to show you is
Lafta
as
kame
follows.
itandi la ja wala mnyinti ko.
That list which you took
Utol me yeta.
and you looked around as to who was there and how many detainees were there, you did not check whether their detentions were still lawful. Do you agree that or you don't agree? If you agree, we move on. If you disagree, we revisit it until we arrive at a logical conclusion. Let's make it easy. Speak the truth.
Except that what you are saying, anyone that is detained there is on the record. It can be something that happened. But I want to show you this. Some people could be there. When I was selecting, at the time that I was accepting the appointment, they had been there for a month already. Or they would have been there for 2 or 3 weeks already.
So,
if such instances happened, and if you put all of them together, it will affect me. And this could have been the case.
No. Mr. Baaji. Okay, let's do it painstakingly. In August, you are Director General, correct?
Director General.
Yes. Rohia to Fadia was arrested 23 October 2008. You are Director General at the time, correct?
Yes.
She was detained for 7 days. Released on 30 October 2008. That was unlawful. You agree?
Yes.
So this is not put on you. This is not something that happened before your time, and it is put on you. You agree? Let's just answer the question.
Yes,
Okay, good.
take that.
Ibrahim Marong. I'm just giving you examples. Was arrested 6 November.
Ibrahim Marong November
2008.
2008
You are Director General. He was released after 2 months. In January 2009.
2009
So you see, his arrest and detention is not lumped onto your plate.
It
happened under your watch. Yusuf Akor was arrested 2nd November 2008.
November 2008.
Detained for 20 days. Released 22nd November.
November
2008.
2008
Unlawfully detained. You agree?
I wasn't aware of that.
Well, your book says he was arrested and detained.
Yes, I don't dispute that. What I'm saying is that I am the one who wasn't aware.
You see, it is easy to sit here and say, I am not aware of it. But you see, you are responsible for what happened at the NIA during this period.
Yes.
Yes, but the thing is, we cannot... Okay, explain, interpret that.
What I'm not aware, I will say I'm not aware because I do not want what happened to me to happen to others.
Well, you can say that, but what I am trying to put to you is this was your tool.
isi wa fono bari lefta kam mem fo wala mindi ko nyim jora o membe ngule nyim muy jo ila jora ngolti.
It was your tool to monitor.
Nyim muy ila jora ngolti pour ka yire ka roke ka waranta ka kuson roke molla je.
You agree that if you had looked at it, you would see that illegal detentions were happening.
You failed
to look at it.
No.
Did you look at it?
I got records.
The question is,
adum buko fana mimbije amankentela fonkoti kana buko nyin check mole be responsible in buko la min tata fo ay mo jamasi.
It wasn't my responsibility to be checking the book. There were several people whose responsibilities were to check the book.
Mr. Baaji.
Mr. Baaji,
did you check the book or did you not check the book?
Buko nyin ya jube la bang fo ima jube.
Buko nyi ma jube na fo le kabri follow dula nte kuma fo la mi man soto ma jube nko e ka li so le prepare.
Do you agree that if you had looked at the book you would have seen that people still continued to be illegally detained?
So ibe son na nyimale ko ning ayata buko nyi ya jube lanu iba be seneyale ma iba lon na ko hanin kabi ibe mol mutakan janne luwanta yakan.
What's a soto no?
Yes, that could be.
Wobe Keller.
As a soto no.
Could be.
Ntela woman can tell a phone call to Purungana Nabuko Jube, because Mole Fana BJ Milna Doko Moti.
It's not my responsibility to come and look at the book.
I forgot Karinika, no.
Why were you asking for reports?
Report?
Well, you told the commission that you used to receive reports about who was detained.
Those reports were there, and it's not only me, because that is a practice I found there.
Why were you asking for those reports?
Confirm how many people were there.
Don't you think that you could have also gone to the book to confirm?
What
I believe that what is on the book is what reflected on the list.
And you would agree with me that you never bothered to go to the source to find out whether it is true or false.
Well, that would be difficult. For the reason that there were people under me whose responsibility it was to do that. If I became suspicious that they weren't doing their work as expected, I will get up and go there and check it, just as I do on other issues.
Seasoned officers or experienced people.
But these were seasoned and experienced officers.
Just allow me to ask follow-on questions. Otherwise, we won't end.
Okay.
You accepted that these seasoned officers were also unlawfully detaining people.
That's
why you wanted to stop it. True or false?
There is no one that I can point to say that he has brought in someone and detained that person without any reason.
Just a moment. Just a moment. But you knew that was happening.
It used to happen.
Adum kabinat wala kita na force fan ko te address tinga minke ka tandi ko malla fi woku sifa laji.
And when I came, that was my first address that I made.
So ni woku sifa so to taji woto abekalante jakaloleti.
So if such practices continue there, that would be a surprise to me, because I do not expect things to happen.
My point is you did not do what you should have done in order to know whether it was happening or not.
me mune be buko nyin kono membe safirinje
ngakele
I did it.
You did not look at the book.
e ma buko nyin jube
ma buko to jube
Yes, I did not look at the book.
because buko ba fayene itela record sol ba fay
The book, it's on its own, and my records are on
Okay,
their own.
and you did not check whether your records were correct or not.
andu ni safirol nyi membe kayto bala ma jube ka long fo membe je fo atilinda la faman tiling
hankay
Yes.
How did you do it?
ya ke nyaadi le
ngole explain jang
This is what I just explained here.
But what you explained here is you went around and you checked who was detained there. Correct?
Come again with the question.
You checked who was detained at the NIA.
Ya jube ka long jumala be Morocco no NIA je.
You also checked the numbers of people who were detained there.
Ya jube fanan ka long mo jelle be Morocco no NIA je.
You told us you did not check whether the detentions were illegal.
Ye fonye ko e ma jube ka long fo mo membe Morocco no je fo fo ani luwa tata la ban.
True or false?
To nya fa fania.
wo fale
I said that.
Exactly.
There.
So that goes to the point that you did not do anything to find out whether the detentions were unlawful.
Wotata fo tembere waya itandi ko e man buko nyin jube ka long mol membe Morocco no fo ila maroni ye mro men kela jam fo luwa ani luwa tata la ban fani luwa manta.
I did not say book.
Okay.
I said you did not do anything
Okay.
to find out whether the detentions were unlawful or not.
E man silota ka long ko mol membe Morocco no je fo ani luwa tata la ban fani luwa manta.
You check for two things, you did not check for the third thing.
Ye ku fula jube man ku sabanja onyen jube.
You looked at who was there and
Yeah.
how many people were there.
Ya jube jumala beje anu mojel fanam beje.
hani
No.
Listen, Mr. Baaji.
Mr. Baaji ko ela moy.
mbela moy ka
I'm listening to you.
Let's go over again.
Ngamurung
I won't tire.
nta badala.
We would get the answers.
Mbe jabiro nyimba sotolal.
You said you took your list.
Ko yela list was ta mol be safirin tol be safirin kayro mbriyata.
You checked who was detained there, correct?
Ya jube ka lon jumala be Morocco no je tonya.
Yes.
You checked how many people were detained there,
Ya jube fanan ka lon mojel be Morocco no je
correct?
tonya.
Yes.
You told us that that is the only thing you did. You did not check whether their detentions were unlawful.
Ye
correct?
fonya ye nyi kufulo rona jube ma jube ka lon fonyi mol la muto nyi fo luan ani luwa tata la fani luwa manta.
ngole foye ngo wo mu dol responsibility ti
That's what I'm saying. That is the responsibility
Because mole be
of
marading
others.
wala.
Because there were people who were responsible for that.
te man tara marading operational aspect la
I wasn't responsible for
because
the
no other
operational
commitment
aspects
so mi manka woti
because I had other commitments which were
but ni
different from
tala
that.
me administration o tala mina wati do fa nte buka taraje sometime
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry, Council. Could you assist us by asking the witness to be to slow down his too fast and difficult?
Could you speak? Could you give us? Could you answer in short tranches so that they can interpret?
Ila jabiro nyi isi sutandi domandi isa kanna sorno tembe.
Mr. Baaji, hold a second. I understand everything you've said.
Nga fahamle abe yemenfo.
You are telling us that you did not check whether the detentions were unlawful.
Ye infonyele ko ima jube ka long fo maraloni yemen mol me maraje fo luanta yalem.
Because that responsibility was given to someone else.
Nyin kamala ko do ko nyin adita do modo mo koten dolla.
Is that what you are saying?
Ika wala fo bang?
amanke mo koten doti mollo because ibe molle koto miliyalon ko atata fo mo saba fo mo nani mil bebe responsible ni wol because jannabe futalante ma anyanta tala ni wollel.
It's not just one individual because there were several people who were responsible for that. And before that report comes to me, there are 3 individuals which it passes through before getting to me.
Will be responsibility can make soko more bodulato at that particular day. Ya lonko karibijan ado anyi wati nangamleke janning abe futalantem.
And it is the responsibility of those people to know
Adu
who
not
was
at a
there and for how long.
Not at a far futata level. Me alonko is beyond wato mine nyanta talaje itolla juti lon ka tanina ko nyi state jana fonyi wati.
And if any detainee should overstay the required time, it is their responsibility to inform me of that fact. If things were happening that way, and I did nothing about it, then I would accept that I am responsible for that. But they were there carrying out their responsibilities, just as I was also hired and I am carrying out my responsibilities. If people fail to do their responsibilities as expected, and I want to take their responsibilities, add it onto my own, I don't think that is fair to me.
More than 72 hours, I'll make sure
if I was aware, or if I know that they were there for more than 72 hours, I will give instructions for them to be taken to the courts or to be released. Because that is incumbent upon me. But what about if I wasn't aware? And there are people who were responsible for that, not me. There are many departments within the agency there.
I am giving you the chance to answer, so make sure that your answers are concise, because if you want to jump into all the things, it makes it...
After me for the wall on Yintiko, Amanko Dula Dron Nadulati
What I want to say is that that is not the only place where I am concentrated with regards to my work.
So,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to read out from a statement for you. This is the statement of Lamin Kabu. We were going to come into that later. But your answer has compelled me to bring this issue up now. Okay? And this is what Lamin Kabu has to say.
Lamin Kabu, I meant for.
He says he was taken to the NIA. We would come to the issue of his torture and how you handled that. And be rest assured that here we would be fair to everybody. Where you have done things correctly and properly, it would be recorded and noted that you have done things correctly and properly. But where you have made mistakes, whether deliberately or not, we would also bring it out. There is no bias here. All we're looking for is truth and justice. And this is what this person said. Let me take it a bit from behind and then we'll talk about it. This Lamin Kabu was brought to the NIA. And perhaps I just want to take it from a convenient point. He said, okay, that same evening we were visited by the then IGP Ensa Baaji, who in the presence of accused persons and NIA top bra stated he was informed by Bunsane about the incident.
You are going first.
Okay, I'm sorry. He said that same evening we were visited by then Ensa Baaji, who in the presence of all the accused persons and the NIA top brass stated he was informed by Bunsane about the incident, and that as IGP he took it upon himself to see and hear from the horse's mouth, should in case he is asked tomorrow. After looking at my body, he asked the DG Baaji, who did this to me? And he said it was more Job, Jim Drame, and their boys. Is that true or false?
It's false.
There's no truth in it.
So you're telling us that Jesus, Esa Baaji, did not come to NIA headquarters?
The time that he went to the NIA, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware. What happened there, what was said there, I wasn't aware.
Did you see Jesus?
Esa
Baaji at NIA headquarters?
No.
Okay. But do you know, okay, let me take it differently. Do you know that Lamin Kabu was tortured at the NIA?
Yes.
Did you set up an investigation to find out who tortured him?
Before I set up that,
answer the question. Did you?
No.
Do you feel that it was your obligation to do so?
Yes, I wanted to do it.
But you did not do it.
For a reason.
What reason?
When that happened to Lamin Kabo, I called my deputy.
All staff in the NIA headquarters.
All the staff at the NIA headquarters.
Immediately.
All of them were called and asked to come to the ground.
Immediately.
And I put it to them that what I saw today, it never happened in the agency since I took over. Why would it happen today? I would not accept that from anyone. What happened to this guy? If it happened to any one of our relatives, we wouldn't like it. This is not something that I will entertain. I'll make sure that anyone responsible for this would not stay in this place anymore.
We underline that.
No,
proceed.
Here. And I also made them aware that this is the first that happened under my tenure. Let it be the last. Let it not happen again.
Mr. Baaji, I am prepared to accept what you've said. Right? And the investigation is ongoing. If there is further information about these things, you may be called again to answer. I am not disputing that you spoke to the NIA officers. I have no evidence to the contrary. But you did not investigate who did it.
I did not investigate. Okay. And it's a clear thing that I did say. But I was aware that someone's name was mentioned. And I made sure that the person whose names were being mentioned to be there, present, and hear what I wanted to say to them, and I was prepared to follow. I was prepared to make a follow-up, but I was not given the time to make the follow-up. But before I started the follow-up, I found myself in a place where I was not, I did not believe I would be in.
That is your theory. But we would come to that. But what I am trying to show is you had an obligation to do something. You agree that you had an obligation to conduct an investigation, and as you have said, to make sure that the persons responsible no longer work here. You did not do that. You agree? Whether you had time or you did not have time, you agree you did not do it.
Wato nyi wajbi yata nyele katunte do ko kela no ni mantaraje.
The time is incumbent on me, but I did not have the time to do that.
And how soon after that were you removed?
I what is